One of my favorite guests on the morning show has always been personal trainer Courtney Amon. Courtney was so kind-hearted and he could always put a smile on our faces. Unfortunately, Courtney passed away just last month. Now, during his time here in Key West, Courtney spent much of his own time at Old Town Fitness. It was in that gym where Courtney influenced and impacted so many lives. Now, in honor of Courtney's memory and all the hearts that he has touched, Old Town Fitness has started something new. And that something new is called the Courtney A Project, which we're going to talk about this morning. Rob, thank you for being with me this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Rob, I know you were very close with Courtney, and you spent a lot of time with him, didn't you?
Yes, Courtney and I were great friends. He was a very complicated guy, very engaging guy, and boy, did we really experience a lot. For the Courtney A Project, boy, this started probably in 2006. I had been transferred. I worked at Key West High School, and Mr. John Welsh transferred me in all his wisdom over to the alternate school where I was teaching these kids, 22 kids, who had, for whatever reason, gotten themselves thrown out of Key West High School and had to attend school on this alternate campus. Anyway, we started working with these kids and realized that some of them had some athletic talent, and maybe they should pursue that, and that might be a way for them to go to college. And it actually was a great program, and it was partly inspired by Randall Bailey. And sports fans will know Randall Bailey on June 10th shocked the world, the boxing world, by knocking out Mike Jones, an undefeated young boxer. And Randall Bailey, if you saw that fight or saw a tape of the fight, he still is the knockout king. Anyway, he fights out of Key West. Cy is his manager. Anyway, he had trained down here, and he was kind enough to invite these 22 kids that I was teaching that, were, not always looked after. So we started looking after these kids, and he took these kids in and took them down to the Police Athletic League gym and trained them for a day, and it was great. Anyway, and that's sort of the beginnings of the Courtney A Project, because what happened a year ago, one of my students at Key West High School had gotten into some trouble, gotten himself kicked off the football team, and also he was no longer allowed to use the weight room over there either. And much to this young man's credit, he took full responsibility. It was really neat seeing this kid grow up. And he said to me, he said, "Mr. Eggers, I think I got the talent to play football in college, but can you help me out?" And because he knew we had worked with kids in the past. And so what we did was we took him down to Courtney's gym. This was a year ago when Courtney still owned it, and Frank, my partner now, our partner, my wife and I own the gym with Frank now. I took this young man and said, "Guys, get this kid in shape, and we're going to get him to play. We got to get him a scholarship to college, and football is his way to do it. He's not going to do it academically." So they embraced this young man, worked with him, and the kid did great. He really matured. Physically, he was already a great specimen, but now they tweaked him. I mean, he worked out with those guys, and of course, free of charge. Courtney offered all his time and the gym, and Frank too. 5 days a week they went down there, and this young man got his own transcript at Key West High School in ship shape, and off he went to junior college on a football scholarship. So yeah, so it was really great, and there's a lot to be said for sports, and really it's important. And the interesting part of the story is, I had met Courtney's dad years ago. He used to visit Courtney down here, and he had told me, Courtney wasn't the most settled regular high school student. He was a really wild kid. And so I just thought, this is why Courtney was given so much of his time. He was that kid.
He had been there. He had done it.
He had been that kid. So when Courtney passed away, at that night we had it was June 10th, just last month. We had this service for Courtney, and man, over 175 people came. He touched so many lives. I mean, I knew him from one perspective, but man, all these different people came from all over the Key West community. It was really wonderful to see how he touched so many people. And so at that moment, Frank and I and my wife sort of spontaneously decided we got to we got to do this. And we announced the Courtney A project, and basically was anybody who was in that room, and spread the word to anyone in your neighborhood. If you see that kid who might be thinking about doing the wrong thing or starting to engage in that, you know, slippery slope activity, hey, just drop them off at the gym. And the real footnote, the kind of fun footnote to the story is that was Randall Bailey also, and that's why he, back in 2006, said to us, hey, bring these kids down. He was the kid, he got dropped off at a gym when he was 15 years old by his mother. She literally dropped him off at the gym, said to the owner, can you do, I can't do anything with him anymore, can you do something with him? When he was 15 at a gym in Miami. And you know, within 10 years he was a world champion. And interestingly enough, the real fun thing is that night of Courtney's remembrance ceremony at the gym was the same night Randall Bailey in Las Vegas was shocking the world, knocking out Mike Jones.
No coincidence.
No coincidence.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all this, and I hope people can get involved in this. So if they know a troubled kid, someone who needs some to kind of get in shape a little bit, right?
Right. And
not physically, mentally too.
Yeah, get them off the street. Bring them down to Old Town Fitness.
Bring them to Old Town Fitness.
Shape them up.
Thank you, Rom.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a quick break right now. I'll be right back after these messages.